Of Taking Over. I am Old Ed Fries, and I'm joined by the sick, the one, the only, the natural Astrid Pizarro. Astrid, how you doing tonight?
I'm alive, but I'm here. Sorry I missed it last week. I was bummed because it's the last show of the year. But thank you, Andre, for covering for me, though. You did amazing. I was scared I was out of a job for a moment there.
Yeah. He talks a little bit of too much New Japan for my liking, but it's all right. I did have fun with my tag team partner from Marvel Talk. And, of course, remember that you can go ahead and see all of the What If episodes now that they have released. Like Ashton, you can finally watch What If Nebula joined the Nova Corps? What if Peter Quill attacked Earth's mightiest heroes? What if Happy Hogan saved Christmas? What if Iron Man crashed into the Grand Master? And a plethora of other topics on all the Marvel things that we've covered in the last week or so as they release daily episodes. So me and Andre are very busy. Astrid, how you doing tonight?
Aside from the sick part, doing better than I watched NXT at least. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Hello, Mel. I cannot wait to talk to you this Friday. While Astrid may not have you on a Ladies Wrestling Showcase this Friday, you shall be joining me, our friend Bobby Munson, and our wonderful friend Lauren Goodnight as we go ahead and review the year that was 2023 in not one, not two, not three or four, but 5 different wrestling companies. New Japan, Stardom, WWE/NXT, MLW, and of course AEW. It's going to be a fun time. We did it last year, and it was a great time. I'm looking forward to adding MLW this year.
Yeah.
Yes, she's very excited. Unfortunately, we won't be talking a lot of Eddie Thorpe on that show. Unfortunately, Mel, I apologize in advance. Not a lot of Eddie Thorpe chat there. Let's go ahead and start this show where NXT did. The women opened the show in a commercial-free first 30 minutes. Not great. They didn't get the whole 30 minutes. But in the one spot where they could showcase a match in its entirety with no interruptions, they chose the women's championship match. Smart choice by NXT, don't you think?
Yeah. I wish I would have mentioned it before the show though, because I feel like a lot more people would have enjoyed watching it if they didn't know it was commercial free. I didn't hear anything about it until like the show started, and even you said, and I was like, okay, it wasn't crazy. I heard it too, but yeah.
Barry says, Astrid,
Yeah.
congratulations! You've shaved and grown your hair back.
Yes, I did. It took a long time.
No, you know what? I thought this was a pretty good match. I'll be honest. It wasn't a star-making performance for either woman, but it showed off a little bit more what Blair's capable of. They had a decent amount of chemistry here, and it told a good in-ring story for me. And that's the key to all this. There was a through point through this entire match, which was the double foot stomp. They did it very early to set the tone, with that being the move that Blair's going to use to win this match. And then she would go back to something similar to it and try to do it again and try to do it again. And I love the idea that they're setting up the finish of the match at the very beginning of the match with that double foot stomp off the top rope.
Yeah, not only that, I also love the Falcon arrow from the top rope as well. That was another one that looked pretty incredible to begin with. For me, it was more than anything the ending was the story, like what caught my attention. It wasn't anything like within the match itself, but it was more towards the ending of having Blair about to hit Lyra with her knee, and Lyra moves, so she ends up hitting on the commentary table, and Lyra looks not only shocked that it happened, but she takes advantage of the situation as well by taking the win right after that happened too. Like it happened very quickly after that happened. And like I was very surprised that it was very clean to that point aside from that. Like nothing like no shenanigans happened whatsoever, which I was surprised about more than anything. Um my and then the other part after that is that I guess we'll mention it now. Having Lola come in and pull the referee, kind of like a reminded me of Carmella a little bit, putting the referee to the ring with her to cash in her contract. But before she even gets even close to Lyra, we get Tatum defending her and going after her, which I thought was funny the way she was going after her in front of everybody, like in front of the ring. And not only that, but having Electra come in right away, defending her back as well. And we have like kind of like that standoff for like Lyra and Tatum on one side and Electra and Lola on the other.
Yeah, and Lyra was very unhappy to be on that side with Tatum Pax, and let me tell you, she did not be
Yeah.
happy. Where Tatum kept getting closer, saying, no, stay away. I don't want you anywhere near me.
Yeah.
Hello, Bobby. Thank you for joining us. No, I really like this. And again, the only thing I really have written down is to finish that match. She goes for the knee on the outside, the two-handed, you know, knee. I know Kenny Omega and was it the BTE trigger? Is that what Kenny calls it?
Yeah, the V trigger. Yeah.
Trigger knee. Um, they have that set up on the outside right against the ring, the table, and her foot goes through the table. I'm like, all right, cool spot. And she sells it really well, which I thought was really interesting. And then she barely gets back in, but goes ahead and gets some kind of a slight advantage. And she's like, boom, I'm going right back to the top. I know I can't do much, but I got to go to the top. And she tries that foot stomp again, and this time she misses. And the knee clearly gives way. And it gives that one momentary second that we need for Lyra to go ahead and hit the big kick, and to go ahead and hit the new finish, which is much better than the old finish. I'll tell you, that tadpole splash that she used to do from the top rope wasn't doing it for me. But this new finish is pretty good. I like it. I think little itty bitty Lyra is going to have a very big problem once she starts taking on bigger opponents. It's fine for Blair Davenport. It's fine for Cora Jade. But if this woman starts taking on Jade Cargill, if this woman starts taking on Nikita Lyons, she ain't going to be able to hit that finish. She's the right style.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I feel like at least little by little she's been adding stuff to her moveset because we went from that boring little splash she was doing to this now. So it's like it's an improvement, and we'll see how it goes when she has bigger opponents too.
Midway through this match, we got a graphic on the bottom of the screen and Vic Joseph telling that we're going to have breaking news after the end of this match. The breaking news we get from Kelly Kincaid is there will not be an NXT Championship match today. Even though Ilja Dragunov said he was going to compete, the NXT doctors have finally looked at him, and unfortunately, he's not medically cleared. He did not pass his test for his neck. All right. I'm fine with people getting injured and having to change matches. I get it. It happens. This isn't ballet. Professional wrestling is a real thing. Sometimes the card is subject to change. I don't mind that. When the injury is a scripted injury that you did in a 2-week taping that you could have done a segment for any day this week on socials saying this match wasn't going to happen, then that's where I draw the line. This is no longer an injury storyline. This is a bit of a bait and switch.
Yeah, and I remember I said it to you before we went on the air. I said it when the injury did happen with Rich Holland. I said two things. One, I don't like that it happened with Rich of all people because of what happened with Biggie before. I don't like the angle in itself. And second, I said I don't like how this is gonna happen. And 2-3 weeks later, he's gonna come up like nothing happened and face Trick. I knew like the timing of it. I didn't like it because I knew it was gonna mess up this card and say like something was gonna come up when it came to this. So there it is.
Yeah, and I don't. By the way, for those that aren't looking at the chat, we have Bobby and Barry talking about food in the chat. It's making me very, very hungry. Um, I didn't like the bait and switch because it was a taped program. We knew last week when it was taped that you probably weren't getting to this match this week. I didn't mind them not giving it to us last week, saying the match isn't going to happen. But you had all week to do something. And you didn't even have to tell us that the match isn't happening, but you could have given us some kind of an indication. Because it seemed like the match was signed, sealed, and delivered last week. So I would have honestly preferred Ilja go out there and just lose the title to Trick. Because he can't go and Trick takes advantage or run a storyline where Trick can't do it. And Ilja feels bad that Trick couldn't go out there and deal the killing blow or something. There was a way to do it that could have been interesting, and all you really did is a bait and switch. Now, granted, at least you bait and switched us with a good match that people would want to have seen that could have been just as good as an NXT Championship match. Let's be honest. But let's not kid ourselves. This is truly what it means when they say a bait and switch. They knew Ilja wasn't going to be on the show tonight. And they still hyped the whole week, including last night on Raw, that this match was happening. And I don't love that. It's not great. It's the carny WWE that we used to have that we haven't had for a long time.
Yeah, that's very true.
Speaking of cards subject to change, we have the LWO with Dragon Lee. Scratch out Dragon Lee. Visa issues. Dragon Lee is not going to be here. And problematically, this is a bigger problem people are making it out to be. This is some kind of a hang-up with his visa. This could be a long-term issue. Now, granted, it's WWE. It's their lawyers. I don't think it's going to take long. But this might not be just this week. This might be weeks to come that they've got to figure out what to do about this because visa issues aren't easy. But he's stuck in Mexico, and he announced that the LWO would have a date. Now, here's the difference here, too. The tweet says we have a big surprise. Vic Joseph hyped a mega surprise. I don't think either one really delivered tonight when we got Carlito as the mystery partner. And the reason why I'd say it didn't deliver is because over the last 3 days, a big thing happened in the wrestling world with a Latino wrestler where Andre El Idolo, Andrade himself, his contract is over in AEW, and he posted his goodbye message today, which means he very easily could have been in Florida for this show tonight. Barry says that's what happens when you wear a mask. They might object to your passport photo. Oh, if it was only that simple. This match had spot of the night. And it's already in my running for spot of the year. Granted, it's the second wrestling show I've watched all year, so it's not hard to do. But the slingshot plancha that they give to poor Raul Lindo. Now, is that Wilde or was that Del Cruz?
Wilde. The one that did the dive, yeah.
The one that went fly. That was Wilde, yeah. that man got. When I was watching it with Mama Fries, I likened it to, as a kid in the States, I don't know if you had these in Puerto Rico, they had these little paper, like, plasticky airplanes. And you could put them, like, they had a spot in the back where you could put an elastic. And you'd pull the elastic real tight and you'd let go, and the plane would fly. That's exactly what this looked like to me. They just went ahead 1, 2, and they both just sprung him forward, and he went flying a good 10 feet in the air. It looked great. By the way, perfect spacing by the Candy crew here, minus Charlie Dempsey, who, as Andre pointed out last week, was not going to be here because he's in Japan, which they did mention, which was nice.
Yep.
What did you think of the rest of this match, Astrid?
Yeah, I think it was fun. I was stuck between Carlito and Andrade, either one. I figured Carlito, either way, probably has to be around here somewhere, so that wouldn't be too far for him to go. So that was my two choices, and then I saw the spoilers that it was him, so I was very happy that they could show him off in NXT. It's not it's the first time you see him in NXT like this, so it's like incredible. Like that is a surprise to me, so I don't care. I enjoyed it. I'm glad it happened. But no, it's nice to see like even the reaction from the crowd for like welcoming to him. It was amazing to like not only hear but see it as well. But yeah, I love the match. It was super fun to watch it. I like how at first I thought all three of them were gonna dive at the same time because they were all backwards. And then when they just pulled him, I was like, "Why are you guys doing that?" And then I saw him catapult himself. I was like, "Oh, okay, that was amazing, though. Good job." I love seeing every single angle that I see on Twitter so far from this whole time. Incredible. But no, it was just a fun match. I love how at the end, I don't know if he pushed one of them too, because a lot of people were screaming after Carlito was pushing one of them, and just even the crowd, if you could tell, some of the guys were asking him for pictures though at ringside so quickly. But it's just nice to see him even just having this little moment with the guys here. Unfortunately, I wish it was Dragon Lee, but still, it was a great match.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun watching this. I felt a little bad for the Candy Crew. I thought the Candy Crew got a little. They looked real bad in this one, and I didn't love it. I'll be honest. I feel like there was a way to do this match to make them look like a formidable opponent, and they all kind of looked like jabronis here. I didn't love that. The spot at the end that you're talking about is Carlito at the end of the match gets his apple back, goes outside the ring, spins Gulak around, and spits the apple in his face. Yeah. That's what happened with the crowd popped.
Yep.
But no, it was a fun match. There was nothing. Like I said, that was the spot of the night, spot of the year kind of thing. But other than that, it was a good TV match. It was fun. It was interesting. It did what it needed to do. But again, there's no story because the whole story is revolving around Dragon Lee and the Candy Crew. And without Dragon Lee, the story kind of falls apart. Especially when you beat the guys he's trying to compete against. Like, you beat them. What the? Why would Dragon Lee give them the time of day
now? No time of day. Opportunity wasted.
However, now we get the story of the night. On this week's episode of Trick Mello. Trick Mello is backstage with Kelly Kincaid. Trick says that he's disappointed that okay, I'm going to drop the voice because the voice is stupid. Trick says he's disappointed, but he wishes the best for Ilja, and he can't wait for him to get healthy so he can beat him at a fully healthy 100%. Mello not happy about this. Mello's like, no, this match should happen. He signed the contract. He should have to go through it, and if not, he should just give the title to Trick. Mello was all about this match should happen tonight. I think Mello was more disappointed that he couldn't try to potentially screw Trick out of the championship tonight. However, we then get Grayson Waller out of nowhere. And this is WWE's philosophy forever and a day. If an announced talent can't make the show, you make sure that the make good is as good, if not better, than what you were going to get beforehand. Well, last minute, people who happen to be in the Florida area, there's not a ton of them. But Grayson Waller makes a ton of sense. Because Trick goes, I'm the Iron Survivor. Grayson goes, no. Little boy, I'm the original Iron Survivor. And Mello starts poking his head in. Yeah, you know what? We can go at it. You know what? Better yet, Trick was ready for a match. Trick can do. Trick will take you on. And Grayson's like, why would I want to fight Trick? He's a nobody. I'm on SmackDown now. I fight legends. And I'm like, when did you last wrestle a legend? Hell, you didn't even wrestle John Cena. You just got your ass beat by John Cena in that promo in London. You didn't even wrestle him. But I do find it interesting that Mello then pipes in and goes, yeah, and Trick will put his title shot on the line. And Trick's like, excuse you, I will? Mello very quick to throw that Trick's championship shot potentially out the window there, huh?
Very quickly for my taste. I was like, I see you, Mello. What are you doing? Kept getting into Trick's business. No, leave him alone. He said he wants to do it alone. Don't get in this. Don't get involved.
We'll get to Trick and what he thinks about doing this alone in a little while. We get to a backstage promo with I thought it was going to be a promo. It was a vignette, which I thought was really good. But before that, we have Barry Monkey saying, Grayson being a big, loudmouth, annoying git really helps them. I agree. It totally deflects from Mello while still being able to give that little Mello interaction to keep that storyline going when unforeseen circumstances of Ilja not being able to go tonight comes into play. This is a really fun promo, from Riley Osborne here. He's sitting in the Chase U classroom. He's talking about all of the UK talent that he's watched over the years and, the things they've done in this company. And he talks about legends like Finn Balor and Drew McIntyre. And I'm like, legends is a bit of a strong word there, but I'll let you slide. And then he goes, and then some of the older folks like Fit Finley and William Regal. And I'm like, all right, that makes sense. I'm like, no British Bulldog. Like, really? Like, no British Bulldog? You're talking about people from the UK, like Riley. Isn't he supposed to be like the icon of British wrestling in the United States?
I was going to say, he aged himself by the people he named. That's probably why.
He really did. It's like Fit Finley is the oldest person in this group. Maybe Regal. I think really Regal might be a little bit older. But like, not mentioning Bulldog, it just like what generation this kid comes from. And it's the wrong generation, just so we're clear.
Excusez-moi. That's the same one I watched.
We have Bobby Munson saying, more legend. See, I think you can put the British Bulldog in this promo and the entire world understands what you're talking about. You put in Haystacks Calhoun in this promo, and only I and a select few of us that reminisce about the days that Papa Smokes considers to be the glory days of professional wrestling will remember. I think Haystacks is great. Haystacks was fun to watch as a child. Looking back now and watching what wrestling is versus what Haystacks did, I don't know if we can call what Haystacks did as legendary. But he was definitely the face of British wrestling for a long time in a certain voice. Don't ever doubt the man with the angelic. I didn't doubt him. I just said that there's a difference between what people like Papa Smokes determine as fantastic wrestling that was great back in the day, but it's not what would get the kids excited nowadays. But yeah, he definitely dates himself in a poor way in my life. And after hearing this promo, I really wanted Oba Femi to beat the hell out of him. And we'll talk more about that later. What did you think, Astrid?
No, I like that. I like seeing this kind of vignette for him, and even with Oba later on too. It's just nice to see them get a little bit more to their character, more to their personal side, what inspired them, and it's nice to see them. I was like, when he started with Finn and Drew, I was like, okay, those are good choices. Who else? Because I was like, they can't be the only two. Come on. And then he said Finn and Uyghur. I was like, okay, I see you. I'm like, I like them too. And I thought he was gonna name more people, and then he did it. I was like, "Oh, that's it, okay." But I'm like, it's still, that's around the same time that I've been watching too. So if I were to name people, I would name similar people as well. I just thought he would name more than just them, but he didn't. But either way, I like seeing just the part of him saying like, "This is the people that who I relate to, the people that basically make me who I am here." I'm glad he didn't mention Funko Pop, but at least he mentioned Valor. So at least let's leave Valor in there and not Funko Pop. I'm glad that happened. But
for those that
still,
don't know what she's talking about JD McDonough.
Funko Pop. But no, it was nice to see him, and I like the way he did it because he's still in the Chase U classroom. They have the Chase U drawing in the board there too, that from before that Dexter had done, and he's like legit writing in his notebook while he's doing this. So just the setting in itself, I feel like it was all great for his character here.
There's a fun thing I noticed at the very end of this. It's like he's writing a list of people he wants to wrestle from the UK wrestling scene, and at the bottom of the list, Ilja Dragunov versus Riley Osborne was written on that paper, and I'm like, keep dreaming, Chitto, keep dreaming. If I get my way, you're never getting near that world championship. Especially if you think, especially if they keep this Thea Hale, Riley Osborne thing going. talk more about that disgusting thing later. I meant the love story, not Thea. Thea's growing on me like a mole or something, but she's growing. Anyways, we have I just tried to join their names and said Oksana. We have Roxanne versus Arianna. Grace here. This was a good match. Arianna bumped a lot for Roxanne in this match, and I think Arianna put on a good show. However, I think NXT vastly overbooked this match to try to get a storyline going for Roxanne, when I really think they should just stop using her and move on to something else. Roxanne continues to get more and more aggressive as the match goes on. And then she gets the win with Pop Rocks, which I was very surprised by. I really thought that Arianna was going to win the match in general. But then she starts going, as I have written in my notes here, batty, and starts beating up on Arianna after Arianna got in her face after the match. And she goes so hard and so long that it takes 3 referees to get her off. And then the referee decides to reverse the decision and give Arianna the win. And I don't think that even that then helps Arianna, because I feel like it's worse for her to get the reverse decision win than it would have been to have just lost the match. And it's a lot worse than if she just won the match. And then Roxanne goes crazy, which I think was the better option. You could do all the things you wanted to do and have Roxanne go nuts because she lost, as opposed to win and go nuts after it. Make this make sense.
I felt a similar way because I was thinking I felt like Roxanne needed the win, but at the same time, in after everything that happened after the match, I feel like it, like you said, it made more sense for Arianna to win it, and then for Roxanne to be upset that she won. So I would have done some kind of way for Arianna to get that quick win and kind of take Roxanne like by surprise with the win, and then have Roxanne like be upset that she lost in such a way, because she'll be like, I did the work in the match and then she got me by a quick like move and she beat me, kind of thing. um I do like the aggressive side of Roxanne. I know something that I've mentioned before, that's something that she needed in her character too. A lot of shades of her mother AJ Lee during the end, during the submission at the end as well. I love seeing that too. I was like, Mother AJ Lee, look at the vision here, I love it. um but you can see she's, after the match, she puts a submission on Arianna. She's still smiling as she's doing it. The referee's trying to get her off her. She's not getting off of her either. But yeah, it just like I kept thinking it would have been better have that kind of surprise ending. Roxanne gets upset. She doesn't want to let go, and then kind of have her smiling at the end that she still beat up and won in a way over Arianna by beating her up after the match, rather than having what just happened, because it just feels like the match was for nothing by having the reversal at the end. So just it doesn't make sense. I feel like it might lead to a rematch most likely, but I would have done it the other way around, have Arianna win from the get go, because I feel like she also needed the win. I feel like it was in a tough situation in this point of view as well, because she definitely needed to have that win there as well. We've seen her lose quite often so far. But yeah, just like I feel like that part is just like, I was torn between both of them, but then I was thinking storyline wise, Arianna should have definitely won this one instead. But it's nice to see this side of Roxanne. She's getting more aggressive, and I think the crowd was either chanting "Be aggressive" to her, and she was smiling as this was happening. I definitely like the change, but it's nice to see it.
Be
Yes.
aggressive. Be aggressive. Yeah, I'm fine with it. Like, the match was booked well in the
Yeah.
match. I thought the match was laid out well. It made both girls look strong. I thought it gave us a lot of insight into Arianna to see her get beat up a lot in this match. The aggression from Roxanne makes sense. She's been losing a lot. She hasn't taken advantage of any big opportunities since she lost the title. And she lost the title in kind of a funky way and never really got back into the picture like she should have. So it kind of makes sense that she'd be a little bit Joker-esque, a little bit crazy. Crazy like a fox, like her mother, AJ Lee. There's a lot of interesting things that I don't know who Mike Patton is, so I apparently made some kind of great reference and didn't know it. Anyway, I feel, Faith No More. Okay, got it. I just really didn't get the idea of the reversal of the reverse decision, I don't feel like it works for such a young talent, because like this makes sense in certain storylines in certain places. And I find this is like an underused wrestling thing. There are so many times where wrestlers just start beating somebody up after the match and they never get the decision reversed. And I'm like, this is such a good idea to use. And I just feel like it was the wrong place to do it. Yep. There are other matches I think could really use this. And I just there's so much to like about this, and there's that little bit that's just like, but if you did it this way, you'd be a little bit better.
Yeah.
Because everything they did made perfect sense, with the exception of Roxanne winning the match outright.
Yep.
But the post-match beatdown makes sense. The referee reversing the decision makes sense. Arianna winning at the end of the day makes sense. Making Roxanne this kind of lunatic, like loose cannon, a Dean Ambrose style, a Brian Pillman style of just losing her way, no longer being that clean babyface and kind of drifting towards heel or maybe somewhere in between, borderline. There's so much good that can come of it. And it's storytelling in the women's division, so I don't want to knock it too much. But there's just... I felt like it could have been just a little bit better. But kudos to them. 6 matches on this card. 3 of them featured women. Got to give them ready for that. Barry Monkey says this, and I agree. Grace is ready for a big push. She's already better than most of the roster. I agree. And again, that comes from being well-trained, not by her father, because I don't think her father trained her. I think he sent her away to be trained. I think she's Lance Storm trained, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, I mean, her father will have obviously had a close eye on her training. He will have sent her to the best of the best in Canada to be trained. So it's not like she's had poor training at any level. And her character work is, like we say every week, is so fantastic and so great that she's light years ahead of where a lot of these other girls are because of who her dad is and the opportunities in training that she's gotten because of that. Being able to go straight to a Lance Storm or somebody else in Canada who's at that level. And having a dad who's one of the better in-ring guys, but more importantly, one of the best characters in wrestling. You know, say what you want about Santino's in-ring wrestling abilities. Love it, hate it, whatever. The Cobra is hysterical. And Santino was a character from the moment he started as the random guy picked out of the crowd to win the Intercontinental Championship on his first night. And the development of that character all the way to the end. You know, T with Kozlov and Sheamus. All the things he did in TNA and Impact. The fact that a character like him came this close to having the WWE have to change their plans to put him in a potential world championship position on the road to WrestleMania, not at WrestleMania, but on the road to WrestleMania. That shows you how over he was for a small period of time at such a high level. And it's just remarkable that she's been able to pick up the bits and pieces of what made him special to make her feel special. And I think that the sky is the limit for her. If her in-ring talent can match her character work so far, I think she's destined for greatness.
Yeah, agreed.
We get Assistant Ava coming out and telling us that the Dusty Classic is going to start next week. The men's, key word here, the men's Dusty Classic, which means there will be 2. I don't know what the hell the women are going to be fighting for, but we'll see. But she's also asked a question by Kelly Kincaid. I thought this was really, really great. Kelly Kincaid asks her, is there a reason you keep coming out of Shawn Michaels' dressing room? You know, you keep announcing matches, you keep coming out of Shawn Michaels' office. What's going on here? And she says that Ilja's health is of the most importance. So that's why Ilja was kept out of this. He wanted to wrestle. We wanted to have the match. But we felt for his health, Shawn Michaels thought that the best thing for him was to not participate tonight. She said, as far as me coming out of here and helping Shawn Michaels, a wise man once told me that Shawn Michaels might need some help around here. And, I've just made myself available. And I'm like, a wise man. A wise man told you this, did he? I mean, is it the same wise man that might be irritated by a certain bald-headed gentleman that came and ruined the greatness that was Jinder Mahal last night on Raw? Could it be the same wise man who's probably made a phone call to Roman Reigns after that same bald-headed bastard said that he might want to sit at the head of the table? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, apparently. What do you think about the Dusty Classic coming back?
I mean, that's always fun. I know I remember being there for I think it was the first one if I'm not mistaken. I remember like my mom and my picking me up after and seeing Brandy and Cody on the way, ironically, but yeah, it's just fun to see it. I like you said, it just makes me think of like the women. I'm guessing the women will have just title shot for the women's tag team titles and have them be up hopefully in the main roster somewhere. But essentially for the guys, I like how this opens up so many other possibilities because we know of the tag teams that we already have here, but obviously we're gonna need a couple more, and we get people going through the night is scrambling to find a partner to be a part of this too because I do want to participate. And I'm glad we finally get the answer to Ava being the assistant. And like how my favorite part of her answer was when she said, like, he knows I'm part of the locker room, so I have a different kind of connection with them than what he does. So it's easy for me to go to him and communicate this. And she said, I bring ideas as well. Some of them are good, some of them are not, but I still bring ideas to them. And one of them was being in the Dusty Classic, and it's happening next week. And I thought it's amazing, like her bringing it up, like she's so involved with the roster because she's part of it too, and she brings a different side of it that Sean can't bring anymore. And just bringing up the Dusty Classic in the way she did, I was like, I thought it was brilliant the way this came out.
Yeah, because I think it's interesting because you can again, as I've been saying for weeks, it's the great utilization of a character where you don't know what to do with her on television, but you don't want anybody to forget she exists. So you go ahead and you pop her in these spots, and it's small and it's silly, and we call her Assistant Ava, and everybody yells at how did Ava become the general manager of NXT. But it makes a lot of sense. And especially when she explains it, she's like, yeah, Paul Heyman told me that, Sean might need some help. So I stick close to Sean and I go into his office and I give him advice and I listen to him and I give him ideas and I tell him what things are going on. Because nobody's going to act the way they act around Ava, the way they act around Sean. Now, granted, I would like to see that start to change. Now that she's had this, I would want to see the locker room start to quiet up around when Ava comes around. Like if they want to go ahead and like come to her with matches, that makes more sense. Like you don't quiet down for that. But if something's going on in the locker room and Ava I'm gonna sit around, maybe the girls aren't. And I say the girls because it mostly happens in the ladies' locker room, where she gets these ideas. But stuff like that. Like I just want to see him kind of quiet down, act a little bit right, knowing that Ava's essentially management. She's that stooge that goes to the boss and tells the boss everything. Apparently, Barry thinks that she's got Shawn Michaels tied to a chair. It's entirely possible. It wouldn't be the worst thing Shawn Michaels ever been tied to. Anyways, we have a video package for Tiffany Stratton versus Fallon Henley. Which my mom noticed Tiffany's attire in the video package. And she made comment to it. And I'm like, It was an interesting attire. Let's leave it at that. I didn't know. Ironically, I didn't notice it. And I had to go back to watching it to go, what are you talking about? Yeah, no, it was definitely anyways. We get Blair after the video package. It's the basic video package. This is what's going to happen tonight. And it's both the girls going back and forth and all the footage we already have. It's a nice video package. They treat a lot of this like a pay-per-view. We had a lot of video packages that we don't normally have, like just hyping matches that are coming up later tonight. And I'm like, I kind of want to see a little bit more of that. I'll talk about what I don't want to see more of at the end of the show here, because there's a section at this end of the show that I never want to see again, ever, because that was bad. But I liked all the video packages we got here. However, My heart shirt moment of the night here for two reasons. One, because we get, where is it? Yes, the lion roars again. Nikita Lyons comes out and she teases Blair Davenport that right now this is where she could have attacked her like Blair attacked her and take her out for 10 months, but she chose not to. Blair's like, well, you don't have the killer instinct to do it. It is what it is. She's like, no, it's not that I don't have the killer instinct. I have the respect to tell you to your face that I'm coming after you. I'm like, all right. So this is setting up a match for them soon, probably Vengeance Day. Makes sense, no big deal. All of a sudden, they start getting into a scuffle, and my heart grew 4 sizes as in the scuffle, one of the people who starts pulling Nikita Lyons aside is Wesley Blake. It was so nice to see Wesley Blake. For those that don't know, Wesley Blake is the former tag team partner of Buddy Murphy, who is now Buddy Matthews in AEW, who is dating Rhea Ripley, which makes him the biggest heel in professional wrestling. Because he's dating Rhea Ripley. Engaged, even better. Bigger heel. He's almost got her down the aisle. It's even bigger heel. By the way, this man, I don't know what he's got going on, but he had Alexa Bliss for a period of time. Now he's got Rhea Ripley. Like, this man's got something going on, I'm telling you. But we're going back to Wesley Blake. Wesley Blake unfortunately lost his wife in 2023. He's got some small children. It was nice to see him backstage doing something with WWE because hopefully that means that they're giving him a nice salary to go ahead and make sure he can help support his family. It's nice to see that he's not left out in the cold. Former NXT talent getting a chance to be backstage. Honestly, that's the best thing I saw all night, and is bigger than this promo because it's just nice to see. I don't ever remember a story being like Wesley Blake back as a producer backstage on any dirt sheet. So the fact that WWE did this silent as a lamb did this to just bring him back. It shows the wonderful things that WWE can do when they do so many things wrong and they do so many bad things. They have so many bad people in this company. It's nice to see them doing things like this. Bringing on Vicky Guerrero after Eddie passed away to make sure that family could continue making funds. We lost Bray Wyatt this year, making sure that they have an entire collection of Bray Wyatt merchandise where all of the proceeds go directly to the family. Going ahead and signing Bray Wyatt to a Legends contract to continue making sure that money rolls into JoJo and the kids. WWE doing nice things backstage, not necessarily just for the kids. Now, granted, the Legends contract has its own little benefit to WWE. They get to keep saying Bray Wyatt on TV. They get to keep selling merch. Eventually, they get to put him on a video game and use him in that, all that kind of stuff. Induct him in the Hall of Fame. Things like that are going to be things that WWE can use while having this Legends contract. But all of those things come with good things for the family because all of those things mean that JoJo doesn't have to try to find a way to make work. JoJo can just continue raising her children and continue receiving money from WWE. Because God knows they have enough of it. It's nice to see them doing something nice with it here with Wesley Blake as well. Oh. After this, we get Tiffany versus Fallon Henley. And Astrid, I'm going to let you talk about this one.
I wonder why. Because it's not Tiffy time. That's why.
All I have to say now is it's Tiffy time.
It wasn't Tiffy.
Sorry, Tiffy. No, not Tiffy time. No, I think this was a fun match though. I like how we start the match with Fallon taking control over it, and even they mentioned in commentary she's been studying Tiffany and she's been going after her up until Tiffany kind of throws her out onto the post there, and that's when kind of Tiffany starts taking control over the match. But I like how we have a good balance of both of them showing off a little bit of themselves here too. Yeah, especially like towards the ending too. I love seeing the ending here and having Tiffany go and she's about to do the PME, and I was afraid for her because of her attire because it came really close to having some stuff being seen in there too. Yeah, she didn't land it, and they mentioned during commentary like she didn't land it right. I like how she like played it off the way she did and the way she landed during the match in itself. And then she's like getting frustrated that she cannot beat Fallon, goes to get a chair, and the referee tries to pull it away from her. And this is when Fallon takes in, does her finisher, and picks up the win. So she's gonna be helping in the farm for a day. So that vignette is gonna be fun next week.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
The simple life.
She tweeted it. I was just trying to find it. She tweeted a picture of the simple life with Paris and Nicole Richie already.
Yeah.
I was surprised she didn't edit herself in Paris's face already, but it's fine. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I'm sad that Tiffany beat Tiffany here because Fallon didn't beat Tiffany. Tiffany beat Tiffany. But that spot where she does the PME and she never in a million years was that thing going to land because she was about 6 feet off of where she was supposed to land if she wanted to land that. She was about a good foot off of Fallon's face to the side, almost into the ring ropes. But she lands it in a way that was able to make her look like she twisted her ankle and roll it out so that she could not land it and just kind of roll through it. Absolutely fantastic because it looks like a botch, even though it's not a botch. It's a planned spot to make sure she doesn't hit it because no matter how Fallon rolls, she could probably roll into the spot. So by landing as far away as she did, she knows that she won't land on top of Fallon, but it also continues with the match. And then using the chair to go ahead and not get herself disqualified, but to go ahead and have, Fallon Henley win the match makes a whole bunch of sense. Because I'll be honest, I'm a content creator. WWE looks at these two options, and there's no bad option here. If Fallon has to be Tiffany's slave, great content. However, making Tiffany Stratton be a ranch hand is going to be epic content. And I don't think we're going to see it on next week's show. I think it's going to be in 2 weeks. I think they're going to take their sweet time getting all this footage together. And I think in 2 weeks, we're going to see the footage. But Fallon calls Tiffany to her after the match. She uses her finger and tells her to come over. And Tiffany has to leave with her. We have our friend Throwback in the chat saying, hello, friends. Happy 2024. Stratton and Henley will win the Women's Dusty Cup. I don't necessarily agree with that. Interesting. We do have him also saying that Stratton has tweeted the Simple Life posted, which I said I agreed. I saw that as well. And wonders how she'd look in cowboy gear. This is how some tag teams start. I agree. Samoa Joe and Finn Balor started out as tag team because of the Dusty Cup. There's definitely a way to do that. Barry Monkey says, can we congratulate the WWE costume makers, as you say, how she never popped out as a minor Christmas miracle. Yeah, the wardrobe malfunction that never happened that everybody assumed was a foregone conclusion. Tiffany, I love you to death, Tiffany. You need to have some kind of a chopper to those outfits that holds everything down. Because you're scaring the television people. I guarantee that people poop their pants every time she does that prettiest moves ever. Because they guarantee she's going to fall out. Think of people who make an appearance like that. Papa Smokes! Hello, Papa Smokes! Thank you for joining us on a Tuesday night. You must have heard your ears ringing when we were talking about you a little while, talking about Haystacks Calhoun. So, give us your thoughts on Haystacks Calhoun, as I know you've seen many of his matches, so go ahead and give us thoughts on that. But thank you for joining us. We greatly appreciate it. Papa Smokes came in at the appropriate time. He did indeed. We're talking about Tiffany Stratton potentially having a wardrobe malfunction. The perfect time to talk about Papa Smokes. We get Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin backstage in a fun little thing where Baron Corbin sheepishly tries to get Braun Breaker to be his tag team partner for the Dusty Classic. I kind of love it.
I kind of do, but I don't want it. I love Baron, but I don't want to see Braun on my screen. Just get him off NXT already. Please. I love Baron, but at the cost of seeing Braun every single week, I don't know if I can handle that. You're muted, sir.
I said, as we were talking about the Simple Life, here's the poster that Tiffany Stratton tweeted out. It's a very simple things. Haystacks had no work rate. All right, so Papa Smokes thinks the same thing I did. I was worried that I was going to go against Papa Smokes in that one. Yeah, no. Haystacks' work rate was definitely low. But he's a legend. He's a legend in the UK wrestling scene. And when talking about the legends of the UK wrestling scene, he was certainly left out by Riley Osborne, who probably wouldn't even know who he is. Let's be honest. Bobby Dunn said that Haystacks worked for his dinner. I don't know. I saw the size of Haystacks Calhoun. He makes me look like a thin and trim young man. I'll just say that. But then we get the best video package of the night. Oba Femi's video package. I love this. Narrated completely by Oba Femi. Fantastic job by him. Great promo from him, too. He speaks in a way we understand. And as I said at the end of this video package, he's a better Omos because they're both Nigerian giants. And I'm like, how cool would it be? Not that he needs it. But if Omos just started coming out and just like bodyguarding for this dude, put these two big Nigerian giants together, I think it'd be great. Either that or have Oba come up to the main roster with MVP and have him take out Omos. I mean, we've not seen Omos, but like give him that big moment of taking out Omos, I think would be great. Throwback says 2024, baby, and NXT star Sheamus Daniel, a.k.a. Brody Malachi, is the baby NXT champion. All right, well, we hope his surgery goes well. Very, very nice. And yes, since Battleground, Trick has been amazing. Yes. Both me and Throwback had the opportunity to be up close and personal with Trick at NXT Battleground. Obviously, Throwback a little bit closer than I was, but yes, it was a great time. But there's Oba Femi video package. He talks about being in Nigeria. He talks about the chance that he has to become, a big star for the people of his lands. And I'm like, I get this. I feel it. Oba Femi. And he gives off a personality in this video package. The one thing Omos is always missing. He has a bit of a personality here. And wait till his match because he has an even more personality in that.
Yeah, that's what I love about these packages, though. You're able to see a little bit more than what you usually do. And it's nice to see, like, not only his background, but, like, having him have a personality. I was like, yes, I can connect with him now. I like this a lot more.
Oba Feminists Unite!
Yes.
We get Gigi having a chat with some of the ladies from the NXT roster while she's sitting in Cora's locker. Cora isn't pleased. That's the extent of this entire thing. Yay, them setting up another women's match. Boo that they did it again in the relatively the same way that they set up. Like it feels kind of copy paste from kind of what they did with Roxanne and Arianna, like with the extent of no slap, and they used like the idea of the sanctity of the locker as the fine, cool. I don't look forward to the match. It's Gigi versus Cora. I really don't look forward to it. It's nice to see Cora on our screen, but and then we get the Ridge interview. And this was well done. I really like this. And I think it put at ease a lot of people who have been worried about what's going on with Ridge Holland and the tiptoeing storyline that they've been making with Ridge Holland here. Ridge is asked about his journey through NXT, and they talk about, she specifically says, you've talked about how this is a redemption story. You talked about how this is a journey, to overcome some bad mistakes and some injury issues. And I'm like, oh, we're going to get his real thoughts on the Big E stuff. All right, this will be interesting. Let's see what happens. And he starts by talking about when he hurt himself before War Games while working with Adam Cole and crew and the McAfee group. And I'm like, all right, that makes sense. He was in NXT. He got hurt. God, we had to see that fucking ankle again. Good God, that thing is ugly as hell. For those that don't know, when he caught one of the members, I think it was Oni Lorcan, I think he caught one of the members of his own tag team. His foot planted wrong. And he not only tore his ankle, but he dislocated it at the same time. So the ankle goes from the side of his foot to the front of his foot. It's not a pretty picture.
No.
He then talks about how at that point he had a pregnant wife and was expecting twins, and he just had her leave the UK. And now he dragged her all the way over here. And what, is he going to tell her that now they have to go back because he's injured and this life isn't going to happen? He was devastated. But he got back together. He put himself back together. He got himself back on the map. And she says, well, then you guys formed the Brawling Brutes. And he's like, yeah, we formed the Brawling Brutes, and that was great. But about a year ago, literally a year and 2 days ago, at day 1 in 2022, he's wrestling a tag team match against Ricochet, and Ricochet breaks his nose. And it's not as lopsided as when Seth Rollins broke John Cena's nose. It's not that far across the side of his face, but it's far enough. And he talks about how it's just another moment of just, as soon as things seem to get rolling, all of a sudden something happens. And it took him time to get himself back into it and get him back in the shape of things. And then he has the Ilja match, and he hurts himself. I'm like, oh, okay, we're going to skip the Big E stuff. We're not going to use Big E for content. I'm like, okay. So all these vague things that they talked about, injuries in the past and using the injury stories, NXT has no intentions on doing the Big E thing. It's all about Ridge and the injuries to Ridge that he's caused by his own things that he's been doing in the ring. Spots on him. I'm like, all right, I feel better. We're not bringing Big E into a story we don't have to. We're not taking Big E's feelings and using them for personal gain for Ridge Holland. Makes a lot of sense. Makes you feel a little bit better. What did you think about this?
Yeah, I was wondering when they were gonna bring up the Big E part, and when they brushed over it, I kept thinking that makes me feel better. It's just the part like I was more than anything thinking about like what he would get online for the injury angle, because some people would think it's real and they would just attack him the way they did because of the Big E injury. But once they brushed over, and then he starts talking about like his relationship with injuries and accidents and things like that. And I like how they go back and they give us the visuals as to what happened with the dates too, so we can go back and remember like this happened when he starts getting a push and things, and you think it's happening, then it happens. And it's nice to like not connect it back to like him and not Big E, because that's what that's another concern that I had. And I like having that connection there between like this is something that's happened to me personally, and this is my evidence to back it up. I'm glad it happened the way they did. I feel like it flowed a lot better this time around. I'm curious to see like how moving forward how that would apply with him if he's gonna stay in NXT based on this interview. I'm guessing because of the way they dig into it and what else they will decide to do forward with him after this. But it just like I feel like it was a good foundation because it just made you think about him as a person, like just thinking like just when he's getting that moment to really shine, something happens to him. And I'm curious to know how it goes moving forward. But I feel like it was a good start to it.
And I love how he ends this promo. I'm not a monster. I don't want people to think I am. I didn't mean for what happened to happen. I'm not here to take somebody's career away. That's a vague thing about the Big E situation. While being perfectly without the Big E situation, all it looks at is Ilja Dragunov. If you don't know about Big E, all it is about Ilja Dragunov. Yes, it's a little bit about Big E too, but you can literally say that all it is a storyline with him talking about how he doesn't want to take away Ilja's thing, that he's not here to take away Ilja's career, and you can tie it directly to Ilja without having to bring Big E in. But if it's one of those, if you know, you know, and I like that because it's not using. They don't specifically say Big E, so you don't use the Big E injury as a catalyst for either hate or, gaining sympathy. You can use what we've seen on television based on what he's talked about in this interview and solely those things to take that line into account, which is nice. We then get Femi makes his entrance. It's fantastic. Riley Osborne is backstage about to make his entrance, and JC Dane basically shoves Thea Hale all the way up to him, and Thea wishes him good luck, sort of, kind of, very, very agitated, very, very anxious, little bit psycho, to be honest. Little bit psycho again. You have Barry saying, I really wish Ridge would go full Yorkshire accent, much as I always want the Scottish wrestlers to go full Scottish. We can't have them go full Scottish because if the wrestlers go full Scottish, they end up like Nikki Cross, and we have no clue what the fuck they're saying. Have you noticed that Nikki Cross had, when she talked in NXT, and she was doing the full Scottish, they stopped her from talking so they didn't have to worry about how the hell to translate her, because that full Scottish just goes a bit too far, and all of a sudden all the words start going together and things don't make sense. But Obafemi versus Riley is a fantastic match. It's your basic, very basic, I big man. Hi, I'm little man. I do the fly stuff. It really is all about. It's giving Obafemi all these great power spots. It's giving Riley these great spots to try to show his heart and his resiliency. Ashley pointing something out in the comment in our chat, and I agree with it because I had seen the same thing. Every time Obafemi put on that big bear hug spot, try to make him submit, he always did it facing the camera at an angle. And you go, that's a weird angle to do that spot in. No, it's not. Because Oba knows directly behind his back, right in clear view of Riley's eyes, he's locked onto Thea Hale. He's locked onto JC Jane, I'm telling you. But no, he's watching JC. He's watching Thea. He's got a shot right to the two of them as they're cheering him on. Obafemi's shop, when he's standing on the ground and Riley's on the side of the ring apron, trying to kick him in the face, the sound of that chop was Gunther-like. And all it made me think is, I need to see Gunther versus Obafemi. Because I just need to see those two big bastards just try to screw up with each other. But the best thing about this match is the finish. Because Riley gets Oba down. He goes ahead and runs him into the turnbuckle, and then he goes ahead and hits. He tries to hit his move and doesn't hit, and he rolls through it, and he gets a kick on Obafemi, and he knocks him on the ground, and he goes back up for the shooting star press, and he rolls through the shooting star press as he misses it the second time, and Obafemi catches him and he slams him down with his big ass power slam, and then Oba does this like big goofy like Omos style like bouncing on his thing, and he does like the shittiest Chase shoe, like his fingers aren't nearly close, and he's just laughing at him going, ha ha, Chase shoe. And it was so great, and I loved it. I'm laughing my ass off. And then he just picks him up and he gives him the biggest power bomb. And this poor little man just gets power bombed to hell through this ring. And he gets the 1, 2, 3. And Obafemi wins the Breakout tournament. I was correct. Obafemi won the Breakout tournament. He looked fantastic in this match. He even impressed Barry Monkey. Oba looked really good in this match, so much better than the qualifiers. I agree. The thing I loved most about Obafemi in this is he wins, he loses, I could honestly care less. I really could have cared less if he won or lost. I didn't want Riley to win. Deep down, I'm a big fan of Obafemi. Like, I didn't want Riley to win, but I could have dealt with him losing. I could understand the story. Especially with, in my own mind, I crafted the story that Riley Osborne wins the Breakout tournament. And Chase Hughes sells the Breakout contract to somebody like Braun Breaker or some heel like Carmelo or Braun or somebody like that. And he sells the Breakout contract. Like, could you have imagined to get the money back to pay off the D'Angelo family if he sells the contract to Carmelo and we don't see it on TV, and Ilja versus Trick is the main event of Stand and Deliver, and Trick has his moment, and he's got the NXT title on top of his head, and Melo's right there with him, and he's all excited. And then all of a sudden, Melo goes under the ring and grabs the contract and hands it to the referee. And the bell rings, and he just hits him right below the belt, right before the bell rings. Like, I could see it in my head of this, like, crazy fantasy booking with, like, Chase Hughes selling the contract. But Oba wins. It's great. But he had personality. He had a character. He had some fun. And for big, tall, giant guys, that's sometimes a problem. What did you think about this match?
Yeah, like you said, it was fun. You get that kind of David and Goliath kind of story, and every time you think Opa Femi has him, Riley comes in with the speed and taking off his knees and putting him down every chance he get. But yeah, like once the first time he started doing that submission to him, and I could see it like Riley and like showing off that he's in pain, I kept thinking, I like this angle though because he's directly in pain, looking at Thea and JC like cheering him on, and they keep putting the camera between him and JC and Thea in the audience too. And I kept thinking that's a nice angle though. No wonder they keep doing it that way because Oba shows off that he's powerful, and then Riley keeps looking at the girls and then getting that support from them as well. And I like how they're like, "No, you got this, you got this." But from the angle in itself, I like the storytelling that we get within like the match between not only the guys in the ring but involving the girls as well too. And like thinking about like what you said, having the personality, like Obafemi looked great in this match. I really loved it. I'm glad that he won. I feel like we could have got either win, and I would have been fine with it. But I'm happier with Oba winning the match though, and I'm glad he did. He definitely showed up and showed out tonight, and I'm glad it was him. I just I feel like it's gonna be tricky though because I imagine him versus Ilya, him versus Trick. I don't know. I wonder how that goes.
I think Oba keeps his contract for a good 6 months. I don't think we see him cash in for a while. Remember, he could also cash in on Dragon Lee. Like,
Yeah,
he
true.
seemed like the kind of guy who would cash in for a world championship. I agree. But I like the idea of, maybe Dragon Lee does one of these crazy multi-man matches. And to get the title off Dragon Lee, Oba Femi comes walking out and is like, I'm now the North American champion.
Jeez.
Also, want to go ahead and thank the Eric Brand NYC for going ahead and following on the Our Local Establishment channel. We greatly appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the content. Barry Monkey says, I agree. Oba seems to have everything Omos didn't. A personality, in-ring ability, and charisma. I agree. Like, he's not as big. Like, the only thing is he's not quite as big as Omos. He's not. He feels massive, but I don't think he's nearly as big as Omos. But you know what? If I'll trade a couple of inches shorter than Omos to have personality, a good in-ring style, and the ability to connect with people, even if you're making fun of them. Like I said, that stupid, chase, being dumb about how dude chased you thing, it made me, I was rolling, man. It was so funny. Again, I love Oba way more than I probably should, but it's great. We then get OTM. And you know what? Shit, OTM cuts a damn good promo. They do. They cut a fantastic promo here, talking about the D'Angelo family, talking about how they want their title shot, talking about how, the D'Angelo family talks about family. But, y'all are family at the top of your game, at the highest of heights. Y'all haven't been at the bottom. Me and Bronco, Lucian and Bronco, we found each other at the bottom. When our lives had gone to hell, that's where we found each other. We didn't find each other at the top. We found each other when we were in the gutter, when we were having problems. We were at the bottom. When we were in the mud. And I like how they're doing that. The only thing I disliked about this, and no, for once it wasn't scripts. I didn't mind Reggie. Reggie's really good in this one. They kept him short and sweet. You know what I hated? Bronco Nima has this stupid fucking, monogrammed, tracksuit jacket. And I couldn't take my fucking eyes off of it.
I was waiting for you to say the worst thing about those scripts. I'm surprised you didn't say that.
No, I honestly, I thought Scripps was good here. I thought Scripps added to this promo. But the fact that it was 90% OTM, it was 90% Lucian and Bronco, made it feel better. I liked when Lucian looks at the camera and he goes, you know what? We're going to go ahead and give you the game plan because, it's not hard to figure out. Power, speed. And I'm like, yeah, big dude, midget Randy Orton. I'm sorry. Every time I look at Lucian, you know what I see? The fact that he tries to be Randy Orton. You know it. You know I'm right. You know I'm right.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Barry says he didn't understand the one that spoke first. Really? I thought Bronco did a pretty good job when he was speaking in the beginning of this promo. Hey, to each their own, Maybe it's a language barrier. The Latin people with the British accent. I thought it was good. I really enjoyed it. It felt authentic. Again, the one thing we always talk about NXT, the authenticity of these promos.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like OTM was consulted about how they wanted this promo to be filmed, how they wanted it to feel. Like it felt like they were involved. That's the best you can ask for.
Yeah.
We then get Kelly Kincaid backstage with, as I have it, Ozzy and Kiana. It should be Izzy and Kiana. Poor Izzy. I feel bad for Izzy right now. She cut a decent promo, I'll be honest. It wasn't half bad. It was all right. She's practiced a little bit. That's good. However, it was once I started hearing Kiana talk that I started feeling real bad for Izzy. She says that Izzy's everything she looks for in a person. She's loyal to a T. She's big and strong. And I'm like, oh God, loyal. Oh no. Oh, poor Izzy.
No, and then on top of it, she said something about like in this it was this industry. I think she said is like you make money and you make friends, and like I know how to make money, and I'm like,
Oh no, it's better than that. So it's the well-known phrase from Kevin Nash. You either make money or you make friends. And she goes, I know how to make money, and I know how to make friends. I found the friend. Now it's time to make money. And I'm like, oh, she's going to use this poor girl.
Yep.
And then she's going to turn on this poor girl because Izzy's loyal to a T. And I'm like, remember that line from the promo. Because in 6 months, Kiana's going to turn on this girl. Because Izzy's going to be doing something that's bigger than what Kiana's doing. And she's going to get turned on.
Yep, it's happening. You're muted.
Overall, it was a good spotlight for the two of them. That was really nice. It was as I thought, oh, okay, the main event match is happening. I'm like, oh, I thought there'd be a couple more things happening before that, but I guess we're just going to get ready to go to the main event. Because we have Trick Mello backstage right before the match. And Trick's like, you know what? I'm still irritated. Why did you put my title match on the line? He's like, you got this. You got it. I'm like, oh, God. Mello's going to go out there. He's going to cost him the championship match. Like, Mello go fucking do it. Like, I didn't think he was going to. Mello, stop being so fucking shady. And, of course, my man Victor still believes in Mello. Still thinks that just because Mello's jealous doesn't mean he did it.
Victor.
Come on, Victor. Victor, come on. Take off the rose-colored glasses, man. Mello did this, man. Mello did this. Come on, Victor. And then we get to the worst part of the show. And no, I don't mean this next promo segment. I mean this next section of the show. We had not one, not two, not three, 4 consecutive promo backstage segments in a row. No, bad NXT. Bad. You have an entire show to split these things, and you've done a very good job. Match, segment, promo, video package. You've done a very good job. What the hell is this? These could have all of this, with the exception of the next one, could have been digital exclusives.
Yep.
But we start with the most important one, which is the next one that happened. JC Jane and Thea Hale are backstage, and they're talking about Riley, and Thea wants to go ahead and send him a gift card. Well, she wanted to send him a text, but she thought that was too much, so she was going to send him a gift card. I'll be honest. If a girl sent me a gift card and I didn't really know what was going on, I'd be a little concerned. I'd much rather than text. Like, hey, sorry you lost. It was a good time. Like, that'd be fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. But they then answered the question, because like I said, I talked about how Andre Chase and selling the contract. Why hasn't Andre Chase been around for any of this poor Chase U University student stuff? I'm like, he should be there. He should have been out there the whole time. Because again, in my own mind, I had this crazy idea that it would be super funny if he tried to sell the contract. Because it would make sense. Riley's not ready to take on any champion. But it would make sense that Chase would get in such deep water that he'd have to sell the contract. And he'd be like, look, the contract belongs to Chase U, and I need to keep Chase U up and running, so I sold the contract to pay back the D'Angelo family. Like, it makes sense, but we don't get that. Yeah. However, we do get JC Jane taking charge. JC Jane bringing out the dominant side of herself. As she's sitting there, we have Duke Hudson backstage with his MVP trophy. And Chase goes, you know what, Duke? We need to go ahead and we need to focus. We need to focus on the Dusty Classic. And she's like, no. You're not going to be in the Dusty Classic, Andre. Because you can't focus on two things at the same time. So you focus on saving Chase U. In the Dusty Classic, we're going to have Chase, we're going to have Duke, and we're going to have Riley. And Thea's very excited for Duke and Riley to team up. Andre Chase, not so much. He's very, very, very questioning of this one. He doesn't understand what JC's doing. He doesn't understand why. JC's not listening to a damn thing he has to say, though. What do you think about this backstage segment?
This made me laugh because she's like, you can focus for two things at once. It's like kind of like, look at you. Look at the way you look right now. It's like everything that I could see. He's like, even under your eyes is telling me you can handle more than one thing at once. I thought it was funny for like taking charge, and then he's like, "No, what about this?" She goes, "No, shh. We're doing both of them. Don't worry about you. Worry about getting the money for the school." No, I thought it was funny, like her being like, "No, we're gonna change this around." It's like you focus on the school because the school's named after you. Get the money that you need, and then we'll focus on the Dusty Classic. Got it? Okay, good. Let's keep going. It's nice to see her like in charge of this, being like she's the person that's not in the university. So like it's not even her concern whatsoever when you think about it in that sort of way. But no, I thought it was funny thinking about it later. And I wonder how Duke and Riley are gonna go together here.
I think it's a perfect mix, to be honest with you. I like a big. Yeah. I love when tag teams have a guy who can fly a little bit, and then they have a big, tall, beefy guy who can do all the power stuff. I think it makes. Well, think about it. What makes the New Day so great? They have a great chemistry, yes, but big guys, two small guys that can fly around. So you put Big E with each combination, and you always had that big guy, little guy thing. I think that works really well here. We then get digital exclusive that should have been segment number 1. Lyra Valkyria backstage with Tatum Paxley talking about her win. And Tatum's like, as long as the championship stays with you, all is right with the world. Bye! And she leaves.
Well, she'll keep defending her poor Lola.
Barry Monkey. Anyone with any troubles in WWE loses the ability to tuck in a shirt. Sad Corbin. Sad Corbin. That was a fun time. I miss Sad Corbin. That was great. We then have what should have been digital exclusive number 2, Axiom and Nathan backstage. And Axiom asks him a question. He's like, no. I'm not falling for that shit again. I think one of these guys is going to magically appear through this brick wall and look at me. He's like, I ain't talking about either one of them. Axiom's like, fine. How about we talk about the Dusty Classic? Me and you, we'll team up in the Dusty Classic. Nathan's like, that's great. And then Nathan makes the same mistake he makes every week. In walks Team BB. In walks Inofe and Blade. And of course, he starts going off. Oh, all these tag teams that are partnered, just generic tag teams in this division, they all suck. We need to go ahead and get a revamp of the entire tag team division. And Nathan's just there going, and Nathan's like, yeah, I got it, right? He's like, oh,
and
you're not doing that for that, are you? He's like, nope. There's somebody behind me, isn't it? You know? Hey, guys, how you doing? This was fun, but again, this could have been a digital exclusive. We didn't need this year.
Yeah.
Although it seems like we're getting next week, probably in the first round of this tournament next week, we're going to get Axiom and Nathan versus Inofe and Blade.
Most likely.
And then digital exclusive number 3 that I wish was a digital exclusive. It makes sense why it's not, but I really wish it was. The D'Angelo family says the title match is on for next week, and they introduce us to Adriana Rizzo.
Too little, too late.
I want her gone.
I
I want her to disappear.
don't like
Never
that
want to
accent.
see her again. No, I don't like the accent. I don't like it at all.
She's trying too hard.
There's a lot of things that are wrong with her. We do also get a fun thing that got really overlooked in this promo. Stack says that they're being way too generous with Chase University. I'm looking for something more from that. And then they go ahead to open the trunk to go do something, and out pops Gacy. And they're like, "How long have you been in there?" He's like, "Oh, a couple hours. I needed somewhere quiet to think." And they're like, "But," he's like, "Oh, the guy that was in here before? No, don't worry. I thought we were bringing him to the river, so I took care of it. Bye." And they're like, "I swear, I know I didn't hear this, but I swear, I thought I heard Stack say, did he kill him? He couldn't have said it. I know he didn't say it. But in my head, I literally heard Stacks ask if Joe Gacy killed him."
No, Gacy's a nice person.
Joe Gacy outside of WWE is a nice person. Joe Gacy in character has all the necessary elements to have killed somebody.
Yeah.
Remember, this dude was a fucking horror villain when he was facing Braun Breaker for the NXT. By the way, how long ago does that feel? When Braun Breaker and Joe Gacy were facing each other for the NXT Championship, and Gacy felt like a fucking lunatic potential champion on the rise.
Wow.
Yeah. We do get confirmation next week, the Dusty Classic first round. We're going to get some first round matches in that. Speaking of it, next week's going to be Tag Team Week on NXT, as we're also getting the Tag Team title match. I'm going to assume that's our main event next week, is the Tag Team title match. OTM versus the family. And of course, Gigi Dolan takes on Cora Jade. So, yay for that. And then we get the main event. Trick Williams versus Grayson Waller. However, early in this match, we hear something that I don't ever remember being spoken about at all night long, where apparently Shawn Michaels tweeted out that a former NXT champion was going to be on hand tonight.
Yeah.
I remember hide nor hair of this.
Nope.
However, we later find out that it's Kevin Owens. As Kevin Owens comes in, and while Carmelo Hayes is distracting Trick Williams, Kevin Owens comes in and punches Grayson Waller with his broken hand and rolls him back in. And Trick Williams hits the big knee and gets the 1, 2, 3 and gets the big win. And Carmelo Hayes is not happy. He's acting happy, but he's not happy. He's being another shady fuck out there on the outside of the ring. There's a new Trick Williams shirt, which, by the way, I want to go ahead and pull up this. Hold on. Astrid just gave me the promo, the tweet from Shawn Michaels. But
he tweeted it almost at 9 p.m. No wonder we didn't know about it.
Yeah, Sean, I don't read Twitter when I'm on the show for the most part.
But it makes me like as it goes.
Oh.
The what? Oh.
This is a link for the brand new Trick Williams shirt. It's called Trickin' Ain't Easy. It's a very easily redone version of Pimpin' Ain't Easy from The Godfather. However, when you go buy this shirt, and you should buy this shirt, and if you want to, buy one in 5X for your favorite streamer, and I'll go ahead and give you an address you can send this. But if you go ahead and do that, you need to make sure that you use this affiliate link. Go ahead and scan this QR code right now. Go to the WWE store. Use this affiliate link. This affiliate link helps our wonderful Astrid Pizarro. It gives her a little bit of a kickback, and all you do is spend the exact same amount of money you were already going to spend on your stuff. You don't spend any more, not 1 penny more, to go ahead and do it. But if you're going to buy stuff from WWE Shop anyways, go ahead and use it. They got some great sales going on now that Christmas is over. They got merchandise they got to get rid of. There'll be all kinds of clearance stuff on there. Go ahead and use this QR code. Help Astrid out here. She needs to make some money because she's had a rough week. She's been sick. So go ahead and give her some money and go buy that new Trick Williams shirt for your boy. What do you think of this match?
No, it was a fun match. I like how even when it was something that was unexpected for us in the sense of like we didn't plan for this main event compared to the one we had, it still delivered very well between both of them. I thought it was funny though because when they kept mentioning that during commentary, I kept thinking, what is it with the former champions appearing out of nowhere and being part of the announcement this week? That's the tagline for everything apparently this week. But I was wondering how they were going to be involved in the match because obviously I didn't want Trick to lose the number one contender spot. But I think it's funny when when Carmelo comes out, he has Trick's shirt. He's like talking to him. And at the same time as when Grayson comes in, he gets that right hand from KO right, right there. And KO brings him into the ring, and that's when Trick goes, I gotta go." And he looks at and he like go Carmelo, and they're talking, but you can tell they were like talking to like delay what was happening because they took too long to like talk and that had that back and forth they were having as KO gets a right hand on Grayson. I just thought the ending was like funny and that with the timing aspect of that. And coming in doing his finisher to get that win. I'm glad he kept it. Carmelo looked a little bit disappointed that it didn't go through the way he planned it. Like he definitely looked like he wanted him to lose that contender spot. But I'm glad his Trick still has it at the end. But yeah, I definitely thought like the timing of it was kind of funny towards the end. But still, I feel like Grayson made look really good tonight too.
In the span of a month, Grayson Waller has put over both members of Trick Mello. He lost to Carmelo Hayes on SmackDown in the U.S. title tournament. He lost to Trick Williams tonight. Grayson Waller is doing some fantastic work right now in a losing capacity. The storyline with Kevin Owens, him and Austin Theory is fantastic. Kevin Owens is doing great work. And it's not like it's hard to twist Kevin's arm to get him to come back to NXT. And this man, I swear, if Sean even uttered the idea, we want you to come back to, and I'm there. You don't even know what we're going to do. I don't care. I'm coming back. Although, I want to throw this out there. I think it's very interesting that Kevin Owens was ringside for the Trick melodrama. Let me paint a picture here for you. Fantasy booking. St. Valentine's Day Massacre, or what is it? Vengeance Day, whatever they're calling it. February 4th. Ilja Dragunov versus Trick Williams. I think I guarantee that's where this match happens. It has to be being pushed back to this. Wait. This is where that match should have always been. It should never have been on this show. It should have always been on that show anyways. But Melo's out there with his boy. He comes out there. He doesn't come out there to screw him. He comes out there and he helps distract Ilja just long enough for Trick to go ahead and hit the big knee. Trick gets the win. Everybody's happy. The crowd's chanting, whoop that Trick. Trick's at the title on top of his head. He's all excited. And then Carmelo Hayes hits him below the belt and then go ahead and hits nothing but net. And he grabs that title and he looks down at Trick and he looks at the title and he stands over Trick with it and he drops it back down. I think we're going to see them redo Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I think that's why Kevin Owens was here tonight. It's to plant the seed in Carmelo's head of how to turn on his boy Trick. And I think it's going to go all the way back to, I believe that will be NXT Rival? Is this NXT Rival? I think it is.
I think so.
Astrid's going to double check for me. It's one of the early ones. I want to say it's TakeOver 3. I'm almost certain. It's the one where Sami Zayn finally beats Neville. I want to say I almost guarantee it's Rival. Because the next one should be NXT
Revolution.
Revolution. Oh, so it happened at Revolution and the next one's Rival.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had him backwards. Anyways. No, this is the one I think where it has to happen. I think that's a great way to do it. I think it's a great way to do the trail turn. But I love this match. Grayson Waller is a fantastic in-ring talent. It's also nice to know that on New Year's Evil last year was the last time we saw Grayson Waller have a wrestling match in NXT. Last time he wrestled as an NXT talent, I should say. Because the next time he wrestles in NXT, it's wrestling against Johnny Gargano at Stand and Deliver. but he wasn't an NXT talent at that point. He just came back down. But no, I like this match a lot. I thought it was really good. And again, it's a great end to the show. And speaking of great ends to the show, we've talked about a plethora of topics today on Taking Over. But Astrid, where can the good people find you this week?
Not much going on this week. It's still sick, but other than that, you can find me on my Twitter and Blue Skies Astrid Pizarro, Instagram and Threads Astrid Pizarro 20, and everything else is on my YouTube channel there too.
Yeah. And of course, don't forget that you can go ahead and buy this wonderful t-shirt right here. And you can go ahead and do this with this QR code right here that brings you to foryourwear.com/Astrid-Pizarro/. But make it easy for yourself. Just go ahead and scan the QR code. And who's the wonderful graphic artist that you work with to go ahead and make this happen?
Morgan Arts. So.
There you go. And again, look at this. It's a fantastic piece of artwork. Go ahead and get that on. You can get it on a t-shirt. You can get it on a hoodie. You can get it on all kinds of stuff. But make sure you go ahead and support Astrid and go ahead and doing that. Again, just wanted to support this woman. She does fantastic work. She's had a great year. But you know what? 2024 is going to be better for her. You can also find me and all the funny things I do on Twitter at edfries12584. You can find me on the Twitch at twitch.tv/edfries2002. We had all kinds of stuff going on with Marvel Talk this week. Go back to the our local establishment YouTube channel. We did 9 episodes. 9 of them. 9 episodes in a row for Marvel Talk. They're doing great work. Go ahead and leave a like. Leave a comment. Tell us what you like about these episodes. Tell us what you don't like about these episodes. I found out that January 9th, a week from today, all of the episodes of Echo release. Andre, we got to figure this out, man. All 6 episodes of Echo are going to release this time next week. It's going to be a busy Tuesday for your boy. Going to have to figure out how I'm going to record all that stuff. So we got that coming up within a week or two. Like I said, we've got, I'm going to even world premiere this graphic, even though not everybody's approved it. We're going to go ahead and world premiere it anyways. So give me 2 seconds. Save image. Astrid, stall for me.
2 seconds. There's done. Barry here. Blue Sky will be great at the useless SODs added bloody hashtags. But I think it's what I like about it is that there's not a lot of people in it right now, so you still get interactions versus like on Twitter you follow so many people at that point that everything gets missed.
All right, here we go.
Mr. Bobby. All right. Great show as always. Fantastic work from both of you.
Speaking about fantastic work, look at the fantastic work that Bobby Money Munson did right here. This is the great graphic for our wonderful show coming up this Friday night, live stream. This Friday night on the Our Local Establishment YouTube Twitch channel, on my Twitch channel, and probably potentially somewhere else. I don't know where else we're going to find it, but you can definitely go ahead and find it in a whole bunch of different places. The Our Local Establishment Year-End Award Show. We're talking Wrestler of the Year, both men and female. We're talking about Match of the Year. We're talking about Show of the Year. And even this year, we added a category, Who to Watch in 2024. What superstars are we going to be looking forward to watching in 2024 for our particular brands? Go ahead and take a look at that. It's going to be fantastic. However, I've been Ed Fries. This has been our Astrid Pizarro. We have been taking over, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.